The sun rises over the Euphrates, not on a battlefield, not over a palace, but over baskets of grain, barley stacked high, sheep penned tight, jars sealed with clay, and a problem, small, practical, almost invisible. How do you remember who owes what? No gods whispering secrets, no kings demanding monuments, just farmers, traders, and temple workers staring at piles of food and realizing something terrifying. Memory is not enough. And in that quiet moment, around 5,000 years ago, humanity crosses a line it will never step back from. This is the story of Uruk, the first true city, and the simple act of counting grain that gave birth to writing. To understand Uruk, we must rewind the world. Mesopotamia, the land between rivers, the Tigris, the Euphrates, unpredictable, violent, generous. Floods destroyed villages and fertilized fields. Those who learned to control water survived. Those who mastered it thrived. By 4000 BCE, small settlements began to cluster together. Not families, communities. Temples rose, not just for worship, but for storage. Grain flowed in as offerings. Grain flowed out as rations. This was not charity. It was an organization. And organization creates pressure. Because when thousands depend on shared resources, one question becomes unavoidable. Who gets what and why? Uruk was not born in fire. It grew slowly, relentlessly. Mud brick by mud brick, it expanded into something no human had seen before. Wide streets, districts for craftsmen, massive temple complexes like the Ayana precinct, dedicated to the goddess Inanna. By 3200 BCE, Uruk held tens of thousands of people, farmers, potters, priests, traders. This was no longer a village, it was a machine. Grain entered the city from surrounding fields. Workers were paid in food. Trade stretched hundreds of miles. And suddenly, the temple administrators faced a nightmare. Thousands of transactions, thousands of promises. No paper, no numbers, no alphabet. Only clay and time slipping away. The solution began humbly. Small clay tokens, simple shapes, a cone for grain, a sphere for livestock. Each token stood for an item. Place them in a clay envelope, seal it, and you had a record. But envelopes broke, tokens spilled, information was lost. So someone, anonymous, forgotten, did something radical. They pressed the token into the clay. A mark replaced an object. Soon, tokens were no longer needed. The mark itself carried meaning. Lines became symbols. Symbols became system. Using a reed stylus, scribes pressed wedge-shaped impressions into soft clay. Cuneiform was born. Not to tell stories, not to praise kings, but to count grain. At first, Cuneiform was crude. Lists, inventories, rations, 5 jars of barley, 3 sheep, 1 worker, absent. But systems evolve. Symbols multiplied, sounds crept in, abstract ideas followed. Writing escaped the warehouse. It recorded laws, contracts, prayers, myths. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of humanity's oldest stories, would one day be pressed into clay using this same system. But make no mistake, writing did not begin as art. It began as accounting. The invention of writing reveals something profound about humanity. It was not born from beauty, it was born from necessity. Uruk shows us that civilization is not driven only by kings or gods, but by logistics. Writing is memory made permanent, power made visible, control made precise. Who controls records controls reality. Cuneiform allowed authority to extend beyond the human mind. It created trust between strangers. It enabled long-distance trade. It turned cities into states. And it also introduced inequality. Those who could write ruled. Those who could not obeyed. The stylus became as powerful as the spear. Uruk eventually declined. Rivers shifted. Power moved elsewhere. But the spark it ignited never went out. Every contract, every book, every message you read today, all trace their ancestry back to wet clay, pressed by a reed, in a city that needed to count grain. Writing did not make us human, but it changed what being human meant. It allowed ideas to outlive bodies, promises to outlast memory, civilization to scale beyond imagination. And it all began not with poetry, but with a question echoing through a temple storehouse. How do we keep track? That question built Uruk. That answer built history.